All right, so what is the anchoring phenomenon? Well, simplest way to think about it is that it's some sort of event or experience that has an impact of some kind. It doesn't have to be like fancy, but it's ideal if it is. So if you have something that is really high interest or just something that catches the attention of the students, that's ideal. But it can be as simple as something very, very normal, but that maybe taken out of context is like put in a weird position. So anything that can kind of grab the brain, grab the attention is the anchoring phenomenon. It does need to like connect obviously to the learning itself, because this will be the anchor that you keep going back to as you go throughout the unit. So as you do a lesson, you might say, now remember, our anchoring phenomenon was this, and this is how does this relate to that? How does this help us to think about that particular aspect? So just something for the students to tie into as they go through the learning. It helps them to scaffold their learning. And obviously, all of the activities need to relate to the phenomenon. So otherwise, not all of them, but that's the ideal situation in an ideal world. The driving question is similar to the phenomenon in that there's typically connected to that phenomenon, there's some question to it. How does this work? Where does this come from? How do I make this from this? Whatever it might be, the driving question links to the anchoring phenomenon. So there's this experience that students have, and now there's this question that we're trying to answer, which is ultimately what science is all about. Science is about trying to answer questions, not memorize facts. That's really important that we understand. Science is not memorizing facts. It's trying to answer questions with data, right? And so data should be collected, and all the data that we collect should help to answer that driving question or help us to explain the phenomenon. Kind of both, actually, ideally, both should happen. So that's the anchoring phenomenon and the driving question.